Hi, welcome back from Underdogs on Top Studio. This is Truth Over Fitness. My name is Chie Figure Prodigy Telui.
And I am Sir Earl Bell.
And today we wanted to talk about stick with the basics.
Right.
Stick with the basics.
Right. Because, the thing is, you have so many people that come and they're always looking for quick shortcuts and add this. And it's like the basics have always worked since the beginning of time. But you always have people, as we go along in generations, they want to make it easier, faster, more convenient.
Microwave society.
Right.
Yeah.
Microwave. Right. And it's just like, at the end of the day, the basics is what
always works.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And it's a now don't get me wrong, if I had a pills to get there quick and if sustainable, I will buy it.
Yeah.
But it never happened.
Right,
it never will.
but the promise of that is why weight loss medication is so famous. That's why, and if you really think about it, that's just the latest in the weight loss GLP-1 or whatever the fuck they call it. That is the latest in people trying to do things. Remember, at one point, everybody was trying weight loss surgery.
Yeah, but it is the crazy the fact that people have so many side effects, or the weight loss surgery, you still 1 out of 50 dying.
Right.
And it is just like crazy the fact that when you think about it, you will risk your life.
Right.
To take these shots or pills or surgery to just be what? Smaller?
Right.
So you can say, oh, I lost 50 pounds.
Right.
And thing is that you can do that without it.
Exactly.
As long as you have a patient.
That tells you something about the society which we live in today.
Right.
You'd rather take a chance. Like I did a podcast a long time ago called Dying to Be Thin.
Right.
People are taking this shit, this GLP-1 shit, and it has so many complications, but you only, can lose 10 pounds, 12 pounds, whatever. You can do that anyway.
Right.
Just by doing it the right way.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I can't do it. No, you can do it. Just quit being a lazy fuck.
So example, one of my clients, she's a snowbird, so she come back, Chicago and Florida, go back and forth. But when she came back and then she said, Chie, I gotta lose 10 pounds by beginning of the August. I was like, we only got like 3 weeks. You know what I mean? But so what she does, okay, now she been with me quite few years, or more than a few years. I know her for a long time. But what she does is this fad diet, okay? Fasting, watermelon diet, cabbage soup diet.
Right.
Fasting, you're juicing for 10 days. You know what I mean? The weight that you came off is not necessarily fat weight. It is It is just retention of water.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you might be smaller on the scale, but you don't really show so much on your physique.
Right. And the thing is, with that, you could have obtained that just by continuing to do what the hell you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then what happened is that you might lose 10, but you're going to gain 15.
Right.
After whatever you gotta do with your party or birthday, whatever maybe. You know what I mean? So, and get this, everyone. It's the last 25, 30 years, this never changed.
Right.
It's this all blueprint, never change. And it's just the crazy, the fact that technology moving forward so much, but we still stuck in this.
Right.
And if you were listen to us and follow what you're supposed to, can fix your core issues, then the weight loss is sustainable, and then now you're healthy and then you're happy and you're ready.
Right.
You're ready anytime. Whatever you comes, you're ready. You know what I mean? we going through this over and over, and you might heard us talking, these type of conversation before, but because we are so frustrated that look at me, right? I eat chicken breast and broccoli tilapia did,
Right.
okay, and maintaining and never went back where I came from.
Right.
Do over is too hard. But what I learned was you have to create the new habit. You know what I mean? But no one can change 100% next day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you had a habit for a long time, 30, 40 years. Now we wanted to change that to a different habit, which is you can, but don't try to change 100% next day, but just do step by step. And when you do eat healthy, when you get in the gym 2-3 times a week, make sure you hydrate yourself and make sure you well rested. And these things you do over and over, and then now you will start seeing changes on your body and mentally. Matter of fact, and then also, your body gets healthier.
Right.
And so many people just doing the same thing and over and over, and after saying that, telling them, it's like, look, you are wasting your time. You're wasting your time because you done this last year.
Right.
And where'd I get you?
Right.
Same place where you came from. Matter of fact, it's worse.
Yeah.
So the pandemic time, okay, so many people, I'm not really drink, I'm a socialized drinker. So pandemic, you couldn't socialize, right? So she lost all the weight. So what's that tell you? You didn't go out. You didn't drink a lot of, alcohol. So those things are the one that keep your weight on.
Right.
So don't do that. To me, that's a way better than have 10 days of you just killing yourself to just eat only watermelon.
But to tell your clients, which this is something we've done a very long time, to tell your clients just to stick to the basics, they think there's a different kind of way. But as you said, you've tried this way for fucking years, and it ain't never worked for you.
Right.
And you just too silly to say, okay, well, let me try something different.
Well, but thing is, it's not so much different. You've done this before.
Right.
And you lost all the weight. So why not to go back to that? But it's hard. But to me, it's hard to only eat a watermelon in 10 days. You know what I mean? So everybody got the way to do. Whatever works is okay, but it's not sustainable. Quickest ways it never is. And even though building muscle, you know what I mean? People will come say, what supplement I can take? Just because you take this HMB, that doesn't mean that you gain weight. I mean, you gain muscle next day. You have to go through the same thing. Creatine and BCAA, protein powder, all of the supplement that you take. If you don't work out or you don't eat right, it doesn't matter.
That's what I was about to say. It still, no matter what,
comes down to.
It still comes down to the basic of working out and eating right. That's the core of everything.
But guess what? You know what you're going to hear? That's boring. I'm like, you know what?
Right.
What is you have to have fun all the time.
Right.
No.
If it was meant for you to have fun, we take you to a fucking amusement park. That's fun.
Wait, but what is a fun is? When you get to your goal and you feel good about yourself and you can dress up and go to dinner without guilty conscience.
Right.
Because you done so much and you eat so healthy and now you in shape. Now, actually, you can eat what you want to eat.
Right.
Okay? And then next day you go back to your routine. That's fun to me.
Right.
It's not fun for me to, go back to where I came from, which is 30-some years ago, overweight, unhealthy. I can only wear black. So I can't see no roll. You know what I mean? Or summertime, you sweating, you wearing a girdle. You know what I mean? I know, people out there understand what I'm talking about. Okay? So the goal was I don't want to live like this forever.
Right.
I do not like myself. I don't have any confidence whatsoever. And so you have to fix that. Now truly I like myself. And to me, that's fun to me.
Right.
That to me, that better than chicken wing, that better than, brownie and pound cake.
Right.
And I have the choice of every time you go into the grocery store, they said it's the healthy food is actually around, like the outside of the store.
Right.
There's the inside got all the processed food and then the garbage, right?
Right.
So, try to take it in whole food as possible, not a lot of processed sugar, you know what I mean? And so it's so many ways that you can get there, but always is the basic, is the always works.
Right.
And, well, either way, the gain in the muscle part, right? So you will see on the social media so many different workout. People come up with this newest way to do workout, right? But they remind you, these are social media, they want you to follow. Okay? So they will only show you the part of it where you were like, whoa,
Right.
if I can do this, you know what I mean? But he was already track athlete
Right.
in college. So his leg was already big.
Right. And it's kind of what I see, and it's why I don't listen or follow social media at all. I remember the days when we trained in one of the best gyms that there was, which was Quad's Gym. You train this motherfucker with no air conditioning, busting your ass, training hard. Those people were not there.
No.
So we understood and learned what it's like to work hard to build your physique, men and women.
Right.
But these social media people that's running it, they ain't never been in a fucking gym a day in their goddamn life. So why would I follow your advice?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's always.
I mean, I've been seeing it all, like a leg press at the same time you're doing dumbbell shoulder press. Why? It's the quickest way to do 2 workout in a one time. You know what I mean? It is just like what builds your back? Deadlift.
Right.
You know what I mean? Pull up. You know what I mean? The dumbbell row. Right? What built your chest? Bench press. It's
and the thing is, if we take, for example, your physique today, which, it has taken you from nothing to the pro level, a victory at the pro level. And the one knock was always your back wasn't up to par. So we went back to the drawing board and stuck with the basics. And what did we do to build your back? Chin-ups, rows, the deadlifts. Yeah, the basics.
Right.
And now,
my back
20 plus years later, your back
part
was the best body part at that show, and it was a huge reason why you won. So it wasn't a trick. It wasn't something we went and learned or read about or listened to it on social media. No, it was basic movements that you did consistently.
Right.
And it just in time of doing it over and over and over and over, your back came up. And it was a key to your victory.
Right.
And so many people, they're looking for something other than the basic. And it's like, that's the basics work.
Right.
That's what they do.
Right.
And like I say, in this generation, everybody's looking for a different way.
Right. Because that's why bodybuilding.
Right.
Takes time to build things. But when your foundation is good, it's never, fail.
Right.
You know what I mean? You always get back to basic, and then you just, as long as you don't give up.
Right.
You will get there. And it just that, and what is the rush? Where you going? You know what I mean? I got to get muscle tomorrow, and then what's going to happen?
Right.
Now, I feel bad sometimes because of some clients that came to us, actually sharing an experience of where you had to go through the wrong trainer.
Right.
And the trainer never explained how to eat or how to train. You know what I mean? So you train with a person over a decade and came to us, then to find out that was not the way.
Right.
And I feel bad, actually, those are people that lost your 10 years because they do have a work ethic and then they are legitimately follow everything of what I'm telling you.
Yeah, the thing that now that's really discouraging to me in this fitness industry is that you have more people than ever wanting to be in shape, which is good. But then everybody think the ultimate is to compete, which is bad because your ass ain't ready to compete. It takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication, a lot of effort.
Right.
But when they come to us, because we've been there, we've done that, we teach them the basics. Get that. That's the name of the name of this podcast. Stick to the basics. We take them back to the basics and they think, oh, wow, I never felt my back work like that before. That's because you were not doing the basics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Learn always. It's step 5.
Right.
Already. You didn't even take a 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's how it's supposed to feel. Yeah.
Right.
And it's we've been seeing over and over, and I cannot stress enough to tell everyone, it's basics. It's always work. And Earl has been always watching this Man That Built America.
Right.
And you learn so much. Now this man watched this probably video for many times, but you're right. You learn so many things every time.
Right.
And I start learning, because what he does, and then I'm kind of watching. I'm like, oh wow, that's really interesting. You know what I mean? And then when you listen to these man, they had to create it.
Right.
First of all, it wasn't there,
and
then they had to create
and
it.
you have to realize these great people that created these things back then, they didn't have cell phones, they didn't have computers,
Right.
They didn't have fax machines, they didn't have
Right.
any of that. They had to be smart enough to understand how you build a great empire, You're talking about the Rockefellers, the Morgans, the Carnegies. You're talking about people that have built great empire. To this day, people have never been able to equal what John D. Rockefeller did. They're still trying to get,
But the formula never changed.
It never changed.
And it's basic. It never changed.
It never changed
Right.
because it works.
And they are, because you have been following so many years, and then now, even though you have some type of challenges, and because your foundation was so created, so strong,
Right.
the where it's never crumbled.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that's just the same thing that when your basic is good, the here and there you might run into something, but it's always you get back to the basic and you always make a great progress than trying to, do new things.
Right.
Fast way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so
don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
The wheel was invented one time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't invent it.
Right.
You know what I mean? We just followed it. And then showing everyone that this is what you can do if you follow.
Right.
Right? And yes, we will guide you with the how you eat to, depend on your goal, how the supplementation and all the other stuff. But I tell clients, food comes first, the supplement comes second.
Right.
If you don't know how to eat, which is not only just eat chicken breast and broccoli, but the measuring,
Right.
being consistent about it, right? Other than that, I don't even want to tell you what you can take. So
Right.
show me first.
Right.
And when you do that and you already made a progress,
Right.
then now, okay, if I give you this, it's not overwhelmed.
Right.
Because you added on to another thing is what you already have been doing.
Right.
But sometimes, like one of my clients, I'm like, well, you got to follow this. And they're like, I got to do all of that? And then I got to take all of the vitamin? Yeah. You know, see, that's what I'm saying. Now it's overwhelm you. You know what I
Right.
mean? So now you be like, oh my God, you know what? Forget it. I'm just that sound really too much. You know, so it's just take a step by step. You know, no shortcut. Like my mom always said, it's no shortcut.
None.
It's no shortcut.
None.
And it's so I, you know, tell clients or the audience, everyone that you listen to our podcast, and these are things coming from an experience and not, like I said, we just not saying it.
Right.
We experiencing ourselves. We still practicing ourselves, and that's why I train like 14 to 18 people a day. I don't have time, so I always have to eat at the same time I'm training clients. You know what I mean? And they always ask, "So what are you eating?" It's same thing. You know, I have tilapia, I have my salad and sweet potato. You know, so anytime you ask me what did I eat last night, I can tell you right away because that's what I eat.
Right.
You know, so I always like to stick with basics. So that's why when me and him decided to go out and staycation or whatever, I could cheat.
Right.
I can have some, the pancake or, steak and mashed potato if I wanted to. You know, which is I'm not really mashed potato person or pancake, but I can cheat that. You know, because I have been doing same thing
Right.
or the stick with the basic and train and just not never change my diet or how to do things. I haven't been doing the same thing over and over the last 20 some years.
Right.
So.
You know, and this is, it's funny because I give a lot of advice of entrepreneurship, okay? A lot of people want to know how did you do it? How did you do it? And it always say it's like, you can explain to a person how it feels to get punched in your face by Mike Tyson. It feels different when Mike Tyson is punching you in your face. Now it changes because now you're feeling that pain. And the one thing that I'm saying, like what I find a lot of now, entrepreneurs think this shit is easy. It's not easy. It's hard, dedicated work. You can never be a great entrepreneur. Everybody, you meet so many people. Or I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to set my own hours. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you feel you can set your hours and make the amount of money you want to make, you're fooling your goddamn self. It ain't like that. What hours do I work? All of them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And there's no other way. You can't take a different road and get to where everybody that has worked. I've worked my ass off for myself for the last 35 years. And then they asked me only like this year, and it's been, like I said, it's been over 35 years, we're voted the #1 personal training studio in Homewood, which is a lot of studios in Homewood. We've been voted that the last 2 years. Why? Because I put in the work. While other people are doing other shit, I'm putting in the work.
Yeah, that's another thing because personal training, Ratio has been one-on-one training since he started. Okay, so, but meantime, they were Zumba class, boot camp, the Thai bowl. I mean, it is so many fad exercise class.
Right.
Or the studio. Right, it's like a spin class. At the day we saw that one of the newest spin class was in town of Homewood. It was already gone. Oh, they just opened and it was already gone.
Right.
So it's like we in the industry itself, what we do, right, and changes so much, or always coming new things.
Right.
You I guess work out in the heat. I don't want to do that. Why? But anyway, but there's so many different way to work out, right? But what is stuck to it? Now everybody want to be a personal trainer and have a personal training studio.
Right.
We have been doing this, but there's so many different ways of the exercise came, and they will always say, "Oh, this is not personal training is boring, so we're gonna go to this, we're gonna go to that." You know what I mean?
Right.
But guess what? What sustained personal training is
Right. Right.
came back to the basic. This is the weight training. That's what create the body. That's what create the body.
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger did the weight training for a reason, right?
Right.
So now you're trying. Now, don't get me wrong. All the things are good. Long as you like be active, you can always maintain your health.
Right.
But what I'm saying is to build and tone muscle. I mean, want to see the muscle. It's only way is weight training, not Pilates, not hot yoga. Okay, no other way but weight training. Put a resistance
Right.
in your muscle. That's the only way muscle can grow.
Yeah.
You know?
And, it's a reason that we've been in business a long time, and we're constantly getting better. It's like as an entrepreneur, there's no such thing as easy. There's no such thing as, okay, let me try plan B to plan A get better. It doesn't work like that.
I tell you, Earl, this man's that always say, no matter what comes in, I'm gonna just stick with the personal training. This is the basic, and then he said that like 15 years ago, there's so many fad way to lose weight or different type of a gym came around and left. He always said that the basic is always works. So we are always going to stick with the personal training, and I remember that because we experienced so many things that actually challenged our business.
Right.
Because the clients want to go to the newest thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, he always say, yeah, go ahead, try it. But it never gives you best results as you consistently doing the weight training.
Right.
And that is so true. That is so true.
And like I said, like 35 years later, it takes people and clients and things like that to really understand. Your belief to me is the strongest thing you have. I've always believed, long before personal training became popular, I always believed that is the best thing for people.
Right.
And I've never, I told a friend of mine the other day, I've never, as many bad days as I've never had anything bad enough to make me want to go get a fucking job.
Right.
I figure if things are not going the way you want them to go, it's because you're not thinking
Right.
of a different way. That's why, like, when I talk to you about the things that I want to do, I'm starting, I'm exploring, I'm doing this. If what you're trying to do is not working as an entrepreneur, you ain't thinking, and that's why so many people go in and go out, because they look and they say, oh, well, I think this might be easier. Ain't nothing fucking easy.
They always said, don't choose the easy way, choose a better way.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I see it a lot.
Yeah.
So many businesses have went out of business because.
And I think like I said, social media.
Yeah.
Even though I learned HCG TV, no, not HE.
HGTV.
HGTV. You will see before and after. In 1 hour, they show you how to purchase the house and how you flip.
Right.
And decorate it, come upon where that's the finished product.
Right.
Now you can see in the 1 hour that takes the freaking 6 months.
Right.
Some of them are 1 year.
Right.
And it is not easy. Everything they only showing you a really short things before and the after picture. You know what I mean? But it took so long, and then you just don't know how long it take, but also how hard it was.
Right.
And
that's the part that breaks people.
It is a microwave society. They're only showing you on the social media, and then the before and the after, and then that's what you buy into.
Right.
And then now these are things that you're trying, but they have so many different side effects. It's not sustainable.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, a basic is always you should come back to, and it always worked. And this is our today's episode, and we saying that, from our experience. And I hope everyone can hear what we're saying today and listen and just get back to the basic and never give up and just keep working hard.
Yeah.
Right. So if you like our episode, please hit like. And, I hope you can come back every week because that's what we're trying to do every week. Post the podcast here. And please share with your friends and subscribe.
Yeah.
And until then, we will see you next time.
All right, it's your man,
Bye.
Sir Earl, checking out.